If you your way, no continue, no respond, no way to save your game. You wanna hang out in a special place. I think it's time for good game, well pod. Good game, what you playing now? Good game, well pod. Good game, what you playing now?
All right, well, Chris, a thing you brought up that I thought was interesting was you brought up indie games and how overall you're not a fan of indie games. Can you elaborate on that a little more?
Yeah, well, indie games is just like not the whole structure of a basically a 2D simple screen where you could do different types of just. It feels like indie games are just like one objective to me. Just get through the level, beat it, and that's it. It really doesn't feel like it's transversal into like other objectives into indie games, but I do enjoy them, some of them, even though they can be quick and simple and easy to play. Like for instance, I have one indie game. It is called, what's that thing called? Oh yeah, One Finger Death Punch. So yeah, that's a pretty fun indie game that I was playing. But when it came down to Hell Takers, I just wasn't really feeling it. Even though it had some great puzzle atmospheres, and you can actually trap yourself with the blocks, trying to figure out the map. It's just like when I play One Finger Death Punch, it felt like there was more levels, there was more to the game. I think there was like 100 missions in that game. But like Hell Takers, it was just simple and short. I really didn't get that much out of it.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I think sometimes indie games can be a little bit like meat and potatoes, especially like mechanically. I do think some of them definitely like use that to their advantage. I think that's kind of a weird thing like an indie game can kind of get away with, is kind of turning one of those like shortcomings into a strength. I don't know if Michael and Alex have anything to say. I'm thinking of like the more like the narrative driven, like very simple gameplay type games. Like I wouldn't say, like we talked about Moods of Madness earlier. Moods of Madness isn't, I don't know if we'd qualify that as an indie. I don't know how you guys feel about the nomenclature on that one.
That was more of a, well, I don't know. I guess that was
indie.
Yeah, it's like still like small budget, just because it's not 2D. It's still like a kind of a small team, and it's not like a AAA title that gets like commercials that play during the NBA playoffs or anything like that, you know.
But it was still a first-person simulation of puzzle solving.
So you mean straight like 2D, like 8-bit retro indie specifically?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it felt like Hell Takers was something like that.
Yeah.
Just 2-bit retro indie.
It's always like Super Meat Boy and Castle.
Yeah, I love Super Meat Boy.
Yeah. I think it really just depends on the game itself. I think like the Yume Nikki Dream Diary games are pretty fun. I don't know if you guys have played any of those.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, they do a lot. They're technically they're like lo-fi indie. They don't like do a lot of like high production stuff, but I feel like you can get a lot out of it. Another game I really love, it's indie. It's definitely not like a straight 2D. It's 2D, but it's not like top down 2D, like isometric looking. It's Cat Lady. I don't know if you guys ever played the Cat Lady. Like those games do like a shitload of like heavy narrative stuff, but it like, so the writing's like.
So are you talking more like a dating simulation or like talking simulation?
No, those games are not dating simulations. I just mean games that like
because in a way, I guess they're kind of indie, but not really.
I mean, a lot of dating sims are, but I just mean like straight up like narratively. I think narrative's kind of the place where you can make up a lot of the ground, like with a AAA title. And especially like meta narrative where you're like fucking with the player. Like I think it kind of gets back to this like really old root like text adventure video game thing.
Oh, okay. I kind of see what you're talking about, the Cat Lady.
Yeah, and like with especially like with like we talked about BioShock 2 weeks ago on the pod. Like it's like a game that gets so much out of the meta narrative. Like when a game has limitations and it kind of makes you work around them, I feel like really like the cream of the crop game developers can kind of get you to like think about it a little bit and kind of turn that to their advantage. Yeah, I don't know. Do you guys I kind of feel like me and Chris said our piece on like indies. How do you feel, Michael and Alex? I know Alex, you discussed your options. Michael, how do you feel about indies overall? I think the indie resurgence fucking rules. I just want to put that. I think
It's
it
good.
fucking owns.
I'm glad they're being made, and yeah, I mean it's always a hit and miss. You know, I mean it doesn't take like 100 people to make a video game. There are people that have been working on. I mean, you guys remember playing like Earth Special Forces?
Yeah, it's kind of like
Back
a mod,
on
right?
the
It's a Source
Half-Life mod.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a
the
Half-Life
first
Source mod. That game was amazing.
Yeah.
I remember playing that for hours upon hours. I mean, I agree with like what you said about how AAA's probably hit more of a narrative on things, and they tend to have a lot better graphics too.
I was
but
saying the
that's-
opposite. I'm saying I think indies that's where they make up the
Oh,
ground.
you think?
I think
Oh.
indies can be just as well written, and I think that's like part of like the the person who makes it's like thing, because that's where you can like make up all the ground. I think like you can do just as compelling of a story. The only thing you don't have is like the like graphical fidelity and like the actual like gameplay loop, but you can make it all up. I think narrative's like that one like level playing field where they can like totally fucking lap them and catch up.
And I kind of do agree with you about that too, because I have heard of some great narrative played indie games, just really haven't got the chance to play them yet.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the main thing.
think
Marketing's
the
always going to
o-
be a fact.
I think the one game I think I tried to play that was an indie game that was narrative was what was it, Price or Prince or whatever it's called. Yeah, I think I tried that out for a while. Just
I don't know.
didn't have the time for it.
Yeah. So Michael, you were saying, as far as narrative goes,
Well, I feel like definitely AAA games. I feel like they speak a lot more to people. Maybe it's just because they're more well known.
you mean like
There's
actually
definitely a lot more
active
mechanics
dialogue?
usually too in
Yeah.
AAA games. Like you don't really see too many open world indie games. Not too many. I don't know. Is No Man's Sky?
No,
Indie
I don't
or
think so.
something?
I think like there are procedurally generated like, or at least like roguelikes are kind of like indie, so you can get like a lot of like replay value and stuff. But I don't think you ever get to like full.
Isn't that Ancestors game technically an indie game? That monkey game?
I don't know. It's getting more and more nebulous by the day. Like I said, I think the Macklemore analogy is pretty accurate. I feel like a quote unquote
Yeah.
indie, it's getting a little more like nebulous.
Yeah, it's hard to even.
Yeah.
Well, if you're
Oh,
defining
which
it
game in my
studio
playlist is indie?
by a thing, then yeah, but
It's kind of fascinating because by current standards, like a lot of games that we look back on as like quote unquote AAA at the time probably would have been like, oh, that small of a team, that would have been an indie team.
Like, is Subnautica indie?
I mean, I think that's kind of the thing. Like, I wish Kevin was here because he's like he's the person who's actually in the industry. He might be
In
able to
the
speak to it a little
business,
more.
yeah.
Like, what qualifies a quote unquote indie versus what qualifies like an actual like.
Yeah, it's an indie game. It's listed
Subnautica?
as an indie. Yeah, Subnautica is listed as an
I
indie.
think Subnautica feels like I don't want to say it feels AAA, but it feels like it's it feels like it's a big release. I don't know.
It does feel pretty big. So I
Yeah,
was confused. I'm like, is this game?
because
And I think that's kind of the fascinating thing about games now. We're in this like kind of refractory period where like we had this period where you had to have a giant team to make a game that was worth it. We had the period like we had Mortal Kombat maybe with like a team of 20 people like in 1992 where they like cut every corner they possibly could to make a game that's now regarded as like a high watermark in the period. And then we kind of accelerated from there into like you have to have a giant studio to make like a good game. And now we're back in this period where like you almost can't tell sometimes when a game's really, really well crafted if it's a quote unquote indie. But there also is the genre of games that are like trying to be indie, trying to be retro. And I think that's more what we're talking about with this game. Like it's definitely like going off the retro aesthetic. I don't know how you guys feel about like what the game's trying to do. Again,
it is.
shit that would be useful to have Kevin here. he's the person who can actually be like, oh, his art style is like this. Yeah, I don't know. Alex, what's your overall
He
feel
had to be.
Oh, sorry, Michael.
I was gonna say he had to kind of play it with this type of graphics. I feel like it adds to its wholesomeness,
Yeah.
especially when you're referring to like a harem of demon girls.
Yeah.
It's like if that's like BioShock quality girls, you're like, all right, this is
It's
Okay.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be playing this in front of the kids.
Dead or Alive 6 is not a game I can play in front of the kids.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Ooh, Santa's feeling a little buzz. Cover your eyes, kids. This is one of Daddy's games. Yeah. That's kind of. I do like the like hyper stylization of indies. I don't know. I feel like we don't get. I think that's the charm. And again, Kevin could speak to this 1,000 times more as like a person who actually like does art. But like. I love that it's like generally like a singular or really like isolated vision. It's like what a few people want to be the art is the art of the game, which you kind of get sometimes with some games. I'm horribly like the game that comes to mind is like I'm thinking of like the Mistwalker Studios like Blue Dragon. I don't know, like that was an Akira Toriyama game, and you could tell it's made by Akira Toriyama. It's like drawn. All the characters are like just facsimiles of Akira Toriyama characters. But like you don't get that.
Dragon Quest.
What's that? Yeah, Dragon Quest is a better is a more it's the better example of the two. Thank you. But yeah, like it's just, like I love the indie games are such like they're passion projects. They're almost vanity projects in how like singular the vision is. And I feel like you don't get that a lot in video games. I don't know how you guys feel. Like a AAA game, you almost never get like a singular artist or like a few artists quote unquote vision. And that is like to me the endearing thing about a lot of indies. You get like someone's pouring their heart into it and you're getting like that. You're not getting Van Ripper working as an animator on the next Devil May Cry game as one of 50 animators. You're getting Van Ripper's interpretation of the world.
Well,
That kind of fucking rules. I don't know. I like that.
actually, I guess I have a lot of indie games because apparently you have it too, Michael. Remember Pulsar Lost Colonies?
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess that's listed as an indie game too. And
actually.
yeah, it was pretty fun how that indie game worked because you have a starship and basically it takes people to run the starship and go in the universe and explore planets. I guess it's something like a Star Trek thing in an indie way. Like,
It's an indie game.
I guess that goes to what Ian was trying to say. They're pouring their hearts out into the game. It's spec'd a little differently than, like you said, most games that like makes a franchise out of things. I guess indie games are pretty well done in
Yeah,
way
they're like
we don't see it.
they're like the college films of video games, and there's always going to be something that's like kind of charming about that, like about someone's like actual like passion being like just laid bare. Alex and Michael, I don't know if you guys have anything about that.
Oh, it's definitely nice when it's like you were saying, a singular vision. Because I think on a lot of these bigger titles, you kind of get where you see these conflicting ideas, whether it be in gameplay or how it relates to story. And when you get those singular vision games, you're not worried more about those kind of things. You're just kind of on the railroad, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe I'm being a nostalgical fucking boomer about this, but I feel like that's the way games used to be. They used to be like a vision of a group of people just bared, and that's how you get the franchises of old. You get that from like a few people's vision. I don't know.
And then they realize that vision makes fucking money.
Yeah.
And then we end up with
You get someone's like soul, and you get like a fucking thing you can run with and you can adapt, and other people like it endears to other people, and then it grows and transcends. You don't get fucking Knack and Knack 2. Like you get like
Talk
real shit.
smack about Knack, bro.
I would never talk smack
shit.
about Knack. I'm just saying it's two different lanes.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
And I'm a carpool lane guy, baby.
Oh, so you're crossing the double yellow, the double W.
I'm a big fast pass lane boy.
Subscriptions.
But I thought you can cross the double yellow if you're in a certain type of vehicle.
Yeah, I believe those have lights on top.
Yeah, they're called tanks and police cars.
Oh, no, you can do it with bikes. Pretty sure.
Legally, no. You can.
Save a clip
Yeah.
of that.
There's a lot of things you can do, Chris.
Well,
You're allowed to do them. In
I
fact,
remember like cops didn't give two craps when I was like lane splitting in the carpool lane and riding.
what lane spitting?
Speaking
not-
of lanes, our bikes are not in the video game podcast lane. So maybe we can merge back into the video game podcast lane and save that for the after hour. I mean, I love to brag about the way I drive recklessly too. I save it for outside of the video game podcast.
Let's just say indie games they go between the lines because you never know what an indie game can make.
I mean, it's a nice try to save. I will give you that.
No,
I'm glad we're back on top.
Subtract points from Miss House.
30 points from Chris for speaking about riding his bike and not referencing the film Tron or video games based off the film Tron. Or the Faggio from San Andreas.
That is a nice machine right there. Tell you what, boy. You ship one of those.
So I think in closing, we'll just do like what we've been playing. Have you guys been playing any like good games recently? What have you guys been playing? We'll go alphabetically. Alex?
I've been playing Battlefield 1 and also Metro Exodus, the exciting conclusion to the Metro series, produced by Deep Silver Games and currently on sale. I am reading from a script without a gun to my head. Very clear that I distinct that.
How do you feel? Have those been fun games to play?
Yeah, Battlefield 1's still a good game. I mean, it's Battlefield 1. You shoot guns, you go pew pew, people talk. That's about that. But Metro's been pretty good. First two were great. The third one is pretty good so far.
Extremely great games. What are you talking about?
Oh, I had to put the extremely there. That's my mistake. Yeah, but
Don't you dare say they're just good, you piece of shit.
But now you have your wife and the frame, and now you must save the world. Or some shit. I don't know.
I need to upgrade my computer to play Metro Exodus.
It looks nice as shit.
Yeah. It takes a powerhouse to run it, though.
That one keeps popping up on those RTX videos. They're like, get the 3080 and Metro Exodus is going to look like the best game in the world. And it does.
Their game
looks great.
Good.
It's like...
That Atomic Hearts game. Anything on that?
Which game?
Atomic Hearts. No? Nobody?
I got nothing.
It's like a Bioshock knockoff. Go look up about it.
The only Bioshock knockoff game that I've played is We Happy Few.
What? That was
not out, the Atomic Hearts, but it's been in development for a while. It looks good. You played that Revenant from the Ashes game? It's kind of like that.
Yeah, I like it. I really like it. Wait, do you have it, Alex?
Looks good. Looks pretty.
Huh?
It's not out.
Its planned release is to be announced.
Wait, Remnant from the Ashes?
Remnant from the Ashes is out. That's a good game.
Yeah, okay.
Pinball.
Oh.
Marvel Pinball.
Oh.
Chris, what are you playing now?
I am playing Space Hulk Deathwing with Gage for the past few days for the Emperor.
It's like Warhammer. It's a Warhammer game, but kind of like Vermintide, but instead of the fantasy side of things, it's more just about space marines.
It's the Dawn of War,
blowing shit up, killing aliens. It's fun if you like the Vermintide horde survival, like teamwork multiplayer type of game.
Yeah. Guess
What else you been playing, Chris?
It's been EDF 5 and Bioshock 2 remastered. So yeah, kind of got me back into that stuff. Yeah, and 7 Days to Die. Yeah, I guess that's a pretty fun.
It's addictive.
Can be addictive. Can be.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
what about you, Ian?
I was gonna do Michael first.
Oh, so we're going alphabetical order. Okay.
We're going alphabetical.
Okay, fine. Let's see. I played a little bit of this game called Spellbreak. It's free to play off of like Epic Games. It's like a battle royale, but you're like a wizard. So it's pretty fun because you do like spell combos, pick up you equip a certain gauntlet, and that's the type of spells you use. They got like fire, poison. I don't know. It's pretty satisfying to win, and it's not a lot of pressure, not very frustrating. I don't know. I usually get frustrated in battle royales because I'm like, well, shoot, that guy killed me. But I guess it's because I've been winning a lot. So that one's pretty fun. Besides that, pretty much what Chris mentioned is the other games I've been playing lately. Besides the games that we play on this podcast, I played a game called Generation Zero recently. Also, just kind of cool. It's a survival game that you craft things, but you're going against like these machines that came to Earth.
Thought that was
great.
also a good game too. I thought it was mechs, but it looked kind of fun. Just didn't really. Is it still open access or
early access type of thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. Steam doesn't mention it as early access.
So I guess they finished the game then.
Yeah.
Because I
Dusen.
would have got that game. It's just when it's like early access, I'm just like, yeah, wait.
Yeah, it came with the Humble Bundle, so that's why. But what about you, Ian? What games you been playing?
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake, baby.
It looks great.
It fucking rules, dude. It's so cool. It looks great. The engine works infinitely better than the like Tony Hawk's remastered one or like I forget what it was even called, like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD or whatever. They tried doing this like 10 years ago and it fucking sucked. And this is just infinitely better. The engine works incredibly. They added every feature, manuals, like all the mechanics. They didn't try to like bootstrap it to the old mechanics to make it feel retro. They literally just gave you all the tools, lets you jam out. The only thing that's missing is like the post like Tony Hawk's Underground type shit where you can like run off the board, which would break this game, by the way. But it does give me hope that maybe someday they'll do a remaster of fucking Tony Hawk's Underground, which a remake or remaster of that game, I would. Hank Hill.
Gladly.
Hank Hill drop. I'm about to bust. But yeah, no, I fucking love it. It's so good. To be fair, I have like 100% it in like 10 hours. So that said, it is only like $40 as a new release title. It's not like a $60 game. So
that's good.
But I don't know. Yeah, it rules.
A lot of the games have been coming out being $40 these days.
Yeah, I feel like the varying price point is a great marketing strategy.
Yeah, it's it definitely makes you more hesitant to buy a $60 game.
You know, one of the fun things is that's how I actually got into EDF, because I think EDF 2017 for the Xbox 360 came out and it was like a $20 or $30 game. I can't really remember. But like at release, it was that price. Wow. And I think that was part of the reason why I got it, because I was like a kid. So any like game that you could ask to be bought for you that was less money was like it was a giant leg up. So that worked out in my favor.
Yeah, because that's like 3 video games basically.
Yeah, exactly.
At that price. So Tony Hawk, you beat that 10 hours. Any other little games you've been playing since Tony?
No. Krista and I, my fiance, are now playing through Twilight Princess, Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. We beat Kingdom Hearts 2. It should have ended there.
What about Kingdom Hearts 2?
It should have ended after Kingdom Hearts 2.
No, because you needed a conclusion to the story.
The story was concluded at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2.
No. In no way, shape, was it?
Yes.
Oh.
It's factually fired.
Again, playing through, I felt like I might have agreed with you, Alex, but as someone who just played through Kingdom Hearts 2 again, the ending of Kingdom Hearts 2 in a vacuum where none of the nonsense that happens after Kingdom Hearts 2 happens is quite beautiful, and it should have ended at Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah, but Disney likes money, so we get 3.
We get 2.5. We get 2.8. We get Birth by Sleep. And then we get 3, I believe is what you meant to say.
I'm not going to sit here and try to put a timeline on that, because other people have done that.
But yeah, no, we're playing Twilight Princess. It's pretty fun. I'm a big fan. Twilight Princess is a pretty overall underrated Zelda game. I don't know.
I've never played it, but I've always it seems like one of the most appealing.
If you like aesthetics. Ocarina of Time, like if you like the non fully open like Breath of the Wild being like complete sandbox, if you like the more like organized linear ones with some open stuff, I think Twilight Princess is like the high point of that type of Zelda. It's like Ocarina of Time's rightful successor, and then it kind of like drops off a touch with Skyward Sword because it was trying to be a little too motion control-y and got kind of distracted from being like a good Zelda game. And then the whole series restructure, and you get Breath of the Wild, which is incredible of its own right. But if you're definitely like a 3D Zelda fan, I think Twilight Princess is like the perfect like follow through of the Ocarina, Majora, Wind Waker lineage. I think it's just like it's so
I've never
good.
played Wind Waker either.
Yeah, they're all just like slightly better versions of Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time is the best game of all time. I will say that, but like because you always have to consider like when a game came out, and all those other games are just standing on the shoulders of geniuses, so or standing on the shoulders of a giant, so they don't count. But yeah, Wind Waker is just slightly more refined Ocarina of Time.
That's like your opinion, man.
I mean, it's true, but and then Twilight Princess is just slightly more refined Wind Waker, and then again they made the scope of the hourglass or the magnifying glass a little too tight for Skyward Sword, and then they were like, "Fuck this," and they blew it all up. And Breath of the Wild was fucking great. Probably my second favorite Zelda of all time, honestly.
I have no idea what Skyward Sword is even about.
It's the ultimate Zelda prequel. It's the first one in the timeline. It's about the formation of the Master Sword and all that.
Okay.
It's about the initial incarnations of Zelda, Link, and Ganon.
Well, I heard some rumors that they might release it for the Switch.
Yeah. That's the rumor. That's the hope, is that like an actual like contingent on like complete motion control thing would be the release, because that was the biggest problem. Was that it was the Wii Motion Plus tie-in release, so it was entirely tied to like they said at the time were like these advanced motion controls. But like, as a game, it kind of works. But I don't know. I feel like the motion control gimmick, it was like late Wii cycle, so it was starting to fall off. So it'd be really cool to get a release of it that wasn't tied to motion controls.
Oh yeah, no, I think they could release all of the Legend of Zelda games, re-release them on the Switch. It's just
a boy could hope. A boy could hope. The Mario 3D All Stars thing just got announced. The Zelda 35th anniversary is coming up next year. I mean, I'm my fingers are crossed, because my Wii just blew up, so my actual virtual console releases are kaput. I have the Wii U virtual console, which like has like a legit whole second of input lag and sucks entire DOM.
You do get that Switch one if you have Switch Online, but it's very limited.
Link to the Past,
to just the games that are on it. It's very. They just recently came out with Donkey Kong Country, so that's cool.
I have Link to the Past on like everything though. I have the SNES Mini. Link to the Past is replicable. It's the post N64 and on ones that are like I need something. I need an HD version of a lot of those. I do have Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD, but they're both tied to the never going to be set up in the house actively without being a nuisance Wii U console that I hate. So it'd be cool to get them on the Switch, which is just the cool part of the Wii U and not the whole box.
Well, maybe they're waiting. Maybe they want to wait till they release the new Switch.
That'd be so cool. That'd
make your games 4K ready. We're releasing 4K Twilight Princess.
Yeah, I think that's the episode. If everyone's cool.
I think that's a good place to end it.
Yeah, so season 1 of Good Game Well Pod. It's been an absolute pleasure, gents. I hope you've all had as much fun as I have. I look forward to season 2, where we will try infinitely harder.
Stay tuned and see who gets replaced.
We'll get there.
Alex will be played by Steven Seagal.
Thank God, dude.
I picked Helltaker because I decided it was a better game. I listen to music online, brother. I really like the music from Helltaker.
Thank you, brother.
I appreciate that, brother. All right. Congratulations on finishing the season, boys. Peace out. Peace up. A-Town down.
Yes, it was a fun pleasure. We survived. That's all that matters. We survived.